Hi, we're back. This is Rob Bell, the Truth to Power segment of Getting the Record Straight. I'm on the phone with attorney Michael Coard. Mike was telling us about the Avenge the Ancestors Coalition and the project to build a memorial to the enslaved Africans that George Washington had owned. I did want to ask one thing, though. Mike, before we leave that topic, was there a point ever when you thought this ain't going to happen? You know, it's just too many problems, too many people with their own agendas. Were you ever at that point?
The short answer is no. And
Okay.
the only reason I was never at that point is because anytime things get hard for me as a black man in the 21st century, I always look back at my enslaved ancestors and said that for 246 years, they were held in the most brutal bondage in human existence from 1619 to 1865. 246 years. If they got through that hell, I should be able to get through some bureaucratic mess and infighting and jealousy. So I just compared their struggle to my minor inconvenience and just kept it moving.
Yeah. And it has been a success. I know my lady and I were down there a couple of years ago just to check it out. And it seems like all of the visitors, many of whom come through there, and I imagine a lot of students too. Is there a written component, like any kind of pamphlet or book that accompanies the memorial?
Absolutely. There is information, some pamphlet in the visitor center right across the street at 6th and Market. But even better because we should write our own history. We encourage people to go to our organization's website and everything is there. I wrote a scholarly article entitled The Black Eye on George Washington's White House. And if you want that article and everything else, go to avengingtheancestors.com. That's avengingtheancestors.com, and the entire history, everything you want to know about that site is at that website. Avengingtheancestors.com.
Okay, so coalition is not on the end of that.
That's correct. Okay. Coalition is not on the website, Chris. That's correct.
Okay, so what are you up to now? I follow you on Facebook, and we're friends, and I saw you doing something in Nat Turner Law School. Can you talk about that, sir?
Yes. When I went to law school, I was naive. I thought that all the black students in law school were there to fight against racism. I thought that all the women in law school were there to fight against sexism. I thought all the Muslims in law school was there to fight against Islamophobia. I thought that the people who come from oppressed groups were there to use the law to change the law. Rob, I was so naive.
What law school? What law school?
I went to Ohio State University.
Oh, okay.
And I was fortunate because I went to a black undergraduate. I went to Cheney University. And because of that, I was able to be in student government, on the dean's list, all that great stuff. And because of Cheney, I got a full academic scholarship, room, board, books, everything at Ohio State. And as I said, when I got there, of course, I joined the Black Law Students Association, but I was just disappointed that people from oppressed groups didn't go to law school for the reasons I went to law school. Not that I'm better than anybody. I just think that, hey, if the law is the way society operates, shouldn't we try to create the law or change the law or create policy? Whatever the case, we need to be using the system to change the system. And it was nothing could be further from the truth. It's like every man and woman was for himself or herself. And so what I decided to do eventually, and I played it smart, and I encourage young people who intend to go to law school, don't be the angry black man. In fact, I call myself the angriest black man in America. I wear that on my sleeve. But I tell young people to play it like I did. The spook who set me by the door. When I went to law school, I looked like a conservative, Republican, young black man. I didn't raise any hell. I made sure that I did well on my exams. I didn't go overboard in terms of revolutionary activism in law school. I studied hard. I passed the bar exam. Once I became an attorney, I still didn't raise too much hell. I kind of did the civil rights NAACP kind And now I can be the man that I always wanted to be. But you got to play chess, not checkers. You cannot let the enemy see you coming. So that foundation at law school and playing the game brought me to the question you just posed. I'm saying now, I know everybody can't go to law school, but everybody, especially black folks and poor folks, need to know the law. How can I do that? Well, I want to take one of the most courageous men in American history, not just African American history, but American history, Nat Turner, and use his fire, his passion, his rage in a constructive way. How do we do that? We turn black folks into quasi-lawyers. We tell them how the system works. Basically, the law is just the rules of the game. You can't win the game unless you know the rules. And my role is to explain to people how the rules work. I let folks know that don't be deceived and don't be deluded. I tell people that I don't go to court to get justice because there's very little there. As a lawyer, I go to court to expose the injustice. And now that I expose the injustice and hypocrisy of the American legal system, people can see it for what it is. And that's why we have the so-called unrest today. For me, it's not an unrest, really. It's not rioting. It's an uprising. And the only time people can have an uprising if they're mad enough to do it. People think that when Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution will not be televised, that he meant you won't see people on the streets, on TV. He didn't mean that. What Gil Scott-Heron meant when he said the revolution not be televised is that the activism on the street is not the revolution. It's the manifestation of the revolution. The revolution happens inside your head. You don't go out into the street until you realize in your head that there's a need to go out into the street and take it to the man. So when Gil said the revolution not be televised, he meant that what goes on inside your head is not televised. What happens on the street is not the revolution, it's the manifestation. That's what this Nat Turner Law School is for me. It's the revolution in action. It's me putting into people's heads what they need to know about the rules of the game that we call law, and then use that law to change the law, use the system to change and improve and better and actually dismantle the system.
Now,
so if folks want to know what's going on in regard to Nat Turner Law School, I try to do it every Wednesday evening, but I'm so busy now, it's usually every other Wednesday evening. So this coming Wednesday, tomorrow in fact, from 8 p.m. until 9 p.m. on Facebook Live, on Instagram Live, I'll be doing the 4th class session of the Nat Turner Law School.
Okay. So it's a virtual thing. Oh, no.
Absolutely, absolutely. At least it is now. It's funny you asked me that, Rob, because that was always my intent until you just asked me that question. Now I might look into leasing and building, buying office space, and just setting something up in a more, I guess, in almost a passive kind of way that Temple University did with the Pan-African Studies program. So yes, virtual, but based on your question, it didn't even strike me until you posed it. Eventually, maybe we'll branch out and make it a place you can actually come to.
I was just going to ask you, were you still doing things over at PASEP? I haven't been over there. And actually, the last time I was at PASEP was to come to a thing you did for Gil Scott-Heron. I don't know if you remember that.
Rob, because I haven't been formally tied to PASEP in about 5-6 years.
Oh, okay.
However, because I still have a good relationship with them, a great relationship with them, and by the way, I actually teach at Temple University. I teach an undergrad course called Race and American Policy. So because of my cultural connection with PASEP, because I work at Temple, every April 1st, which is Gil's birthday, I have an event celebrating his birthday on Temple's campus. So I'm not officially tied with PASEP anymore, but we're still connected at the hip.
I don't know if you remember, last time, or I was up there, and it was a brother, one of my frat brothers, who from Lincoln, who was there with me. I didn't know he was going to come, but he ended up talking with you. I think you somehow streamed it or broadcast it, and he was talking about his experience knowing Gil and Brian.
I remember that clearly.
Yeah,
that was amazing because I'm like, here I am talking about Gil based on what I read, and based on the music I listened to. This gentleman you're talking about was giving me some personal war stories.
There's a brother named Bernard Fisher, really
I
good.
remember
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So, we're so much is going on right now. Really wanted to get you to reflect on what's been happening, these protests, as you said, the uprising. I was away this weekend. I was in Chicago, actually visiting my new grandson.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. And but evidently, people were really out here in Philly, um, gathering, and now we have this concept which is kind of percolated up to defund the police, and wanted to get some your sense of this whole situation, and how you kind of see yourself moving in that space, and your thoughts.
Certainly. In fact, I and two other attorneys decided that we were going to form a pro bono legal defense team for anyone and everyone, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a second, who got caught up in these mass arrests that took place in connection with what I'm calling the uprising. Mm-hmm. And right now, that three attorney brain trust, we've now branched out to about maybe 25, 30, possibly as many as 50 as of now, but at least 30 attorneys. And there are approximately 300 to 400 cases. So now we're trying to sort through which cases we're going to take. I guess the average attorney will be taking 5 to 10 cases. And we formed this group based on what Charles Hamilton Houston said when he said that an attorney is either a social engineer or a parasite on society. So we have these activist attorneys who are in the business of law, not for profit, but for justice. And this pro bono group is now in the process of sorting out things. So within the next 2, 3, 4 weeks, you're going to be seeing and hearing on radio and TV about these cases going to trial. And one thing I do want to say, Rob, before I forget is, when we look at what I call this uprising, I don't say that as hyperbole. Even Dr. King understood that, because he said, and he used the word riot, but he said that a riot is the language of the unheard. Mm-hmm. And that is so profound, because you have to ask yourself, why don't wealthy white people, quote unquote, riot? The reason they don't is because their voice is heard. Mm-hmm. But for poor black people and poor brown people and even poor white people, our voice is not heard. So if you don't listen to me when I try to politely engage, I got to yell and scream. Mm-hmm. And it's not just some angry people of color. And look what the founding fathers did. They tried to sit down and negotiate with Great Britain. When that didn't work, look what they did. So again, a riot or an uprising is simply the language of the unheard. And also, let me quickly quote what JFK said. JFK said, "Those who make peaceful revolution impossible will make violent revolution inevitable." So if the powers that be understood that you got to listen to the voice of the people, we wouldn't be where we are now. Nobody wants to riot. Nobody wants to engage in an uprising. Nobody wants to foment unrest. But you do those things in reaction to a bigger plight. And if we resolve the bigger plight, we're good. Finally, Rob, very quick in terms of defunding.
Got 10 seconds. 10, 15 seconds. Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
Mm-hmm. We've got about 10 seconds, Mike. Go ahead.
Defunding is not to take away all the money from the police. It's simply to demilitarize the police and use money for social services. There you go.
Mike, thanks so much for joining me, man. I really, really appreciate it. That's Nat Turner Law School Wednesday, every other Wednesday, 8 to 9?
Every other Wednesday, 8 to 9 p.m.
Okay. Thanks so much. Take care.
Well, keep up the great work, man. I love what you do at Truth to Power.